5th, 2021. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, as a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. We kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum as if we were meeting in person. Finally, for those of you calling in, please ensure that you have muted your phone line by pressing *6. Thank you for your cooperation. As you know, on March 23rd, my colleagues and I passed a resolution supporting the more than 70,000 Asian American and Pacific Islander residents in Franklin County by condemning racism and discrimination in all of its forms. To honor Asian American Pacific Islander Month, we have with us longtime friend of Franklin County, Dr. Young Chin Liu. Dr. Liu has dedicated himself to public service for many, many years. In 1994, he founded the Asian Festival, and just this year created the Ohio Asian American Pacific Islander Advisory Council. Please share with us some of the things that you've been doing to support the AAPI neighbors, including your work with the Asian Health Initiatives. Dr. Liu, thank you so much for joining us. You know, really, this does not justify all that you have done for Central Ohio and what you mean to Central Ohio. Your dedication to public service and your work truly is legacy creating, in that all of us follow your lead, all of us engage your direction, and you've truly made a difference with regards to making Franklin County a better place to live, work, and raise a family, and certainly to do it. So we're so grateful to have you here, and I'd love to turn it over to you now for a few comments.
Thank you so much, Kevin and Tyler and John. It is my pleasure to share some of my thoughts with you, and also what happened in the past 28 years. As you said, that I started the Asian Festival on July 25th, 1994. In fact, that this is our 27th year. Unfortunately, due to pandemic, we cannot have the festival in person. However, in fact, that we started from yesterday, that we are having the virtual festival. In fact, that if you check the channel 28 on TV, that we have 4 or 5 minutes of the program every day this week. And then on 29th and the 30th, we have 1 hour solidly each day from noon to 1 on Saturday, from 11 to 12 on Sunday. And we have a lot of programs to showcase the cultural of the Asian heritage. I hope that some of you may have the chance to see them. Furthermore, that you can get on the streaming, and we have 8 hours per day on 29th and the 30th, from 11:30 to 3, from 3:30 to 7:30 every day. And that program will go on even later on, that until the end of the year. Every couple of weeks, we have the streaming. And so long as you click Asian-festival.org and get on that website and click a proper place, then you can get on the streaming. Now, what I would like to say a few words about what I established 2010 in the March under Strickland, Ohio Asian American Pacific Islander Advisory Council. Last week, we testified in a hearing in the Senate Committee of the Senate Finance Committee, and we are hoping that down the road, we can move our advisory council into a commission. Then we can work a lot for not only the Asian community, but the community at large. My vision really, in particular for this month, the Heritage Month, that I would like to unite our vision by working together. And in fact, that is what we have achieved in the Asian Festival, because in Central Ohio, we have 16 Asian ethnic groups, and we work together like brothers, sisters, and therefore it is what we call Asian Festival Big Family. And we work together harmoniously and work together like a big family. So this is what I'm really very proud to share with you, that this is what we really accomplished, try to serve the community and everyone, every way we can. And that is really what we are trying to do. And hopefully that we can always get your support and to make our county a better place to live.
Well, Dr. Liu, thank you so much for that schedule of events. I'd love to actually have a copy of it, and we can help push some of it out there on our social media as well as other venues. And so if you get even my staff that, we can make sure that we're promoting that. And we want everybody to join in the festivities, fun, and learn as much as we can on how we can help and work together. Let me open up the floor here for my colleagues. I'm sure they will have some additional comments.
Dr. Liu, Commissioner,
Yes,
Commissioner Boyce and I frequently talk about the Franklin County and the Columbus that we grew up in over the years. I'm sure that Commissioner Tyler Lee now has the same experiences. But the Franklin County and the Columbus that I grew up in from the time I was a young kid in the 70s through the 80s and 90s was not nearly as diverse as it is today. And over the last probably 25 to 30 years, Columbus has become a much more diverse community. And, we created a lot with some of the work that I started, but really the work that Commissioner Boyce has done over his time as a county commissioner, creating the New Americans Council, because we've got such a huge diverse coalition of New Americans in this county over the last 20 to 25 years. And, but the Franklin County that I grew up in was largely, black and white, with Asian Americans that were here because of the influence of the university and the influence of Honda of America. And that was the Franklin County that I grew up in the 1970s and 80s, and maybe even into the early 90s, before all of the diversity really began to show up here, maybe in the mid to late 90s and the early, and then through the last 2 decades. But as a young man, I could only remember, the influence of white Franklin County, African American Franklin County, and then Asian American Franklin County. And it was because of the influence of the university and because of Honda of America. But boy, we have become a very, very diverse and welcoming community over the last 20, 25 years. And we as Franklin County Commissioners have really chosen and to celebrate that diversity and really. But the the AAPI community has been a fabric of this community for a long time, and we've certainly known you and your work for quite some time, and we appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for the comments. In fact, that I wonder who can guess how many years I've been in Columbus.
Oh, I would guess it's probably maybe 40 at least.
I've been here 52 years. Okay, so it is.
You've been here longer than you've been here longer than I've been alive.
I'm sure,
Dr. Liu. So you've seen it. You've seen all. If you think about John, what John was saying was, we talk often about just the Columbus we grew up in and how different things were. And I know Commissioner Tyler Lee knows this too. When downtown Columbus was not much at all. And when the diversity, when we were very, not very diverse growing up, and it just changed so dramatically. But you've been a part of that for 52 years and making that happen and work. And I think it's just incredible the impact that you've had on Central Ohio, and I mean that.
Yeah, in fact, if you allow me, I would like to share a story with you, and that will make you understand why we are so diversified in Central Ohio. Can I have 5 minutes in sharing that with you?
5 minutes is kind of long, Dr. Lou, but I'm sure you
Okay.
can. I'm sure you can get it in a few couple of minutes, right?
Okay, I will try my best.
Okay.
In fact, at 1892, a group of Chinese was boat arrived in Philadelphia, being treated very badly, discriminated, and cannot stand. And after 1.5 years, moved westward, arrived in Pittsburgh, being treated the same way. That was 1896. Then they moved westward to Columbus in Mount Vernon Avenue area. A group of Columbusians, they treated them really well, taught them English, taught them how to survive. They started with a laundromat, and then 1903, they finally started a tea house. And the Chinese restaurant started in 1905. The first Chinese baby was born in Columbus in 1905. And this is the result of an Asian history exhibit that I produced that under Michael Coleman, and with his approval, I got the 34 circular plates, record all the history, not only for us how to survive here, but also how much we contribute to the growth of 200 years of Columbus in 2012. And so those exhibits, I think, will be really valuable. And speaking of that, and I would like to emphasize one thing, I really appreciate you guys passed the resolution about the hate Asian crime. And that bill is so significant and for all of us to know. However, we, just like today's newspaper by our mayor, Ginter, and it is so important for us to have the gun control. And it is our vision that we would like to promote that as much as we can. Just like what we are doing for the vaccination. And we are doing everything we can to get people to vaccinated. These are the things, and I don't have enough time, but I have so much history and in the past 20 years that I can share with you. But no matter what, as I said, my slogan is do the best I can and to make this place a better place to live.
Commissioner Boyce, if I may, I know we need to move on, but I just wanted to acknowledge that Dr. Liu and I first had the opportunity to meet when I worked with Councilmember Tavares in the late 90s. And as you think about servant leadership, Dr. Liu personifies servant leadership and has been such a gift to our community, even with the story he just told. He's always educating us about his culture. And I'm just grateful, Dr. Liu, for all that you have done and continue to do to serve our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, I still remember that the first time we met, that was really a while ago. But we had really, really good experience. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Liu, for sharing so much insight with us. And again, I want to encourage you to get the schedule of events to our
Sure.
office so that we can promote
Tonight.
them. Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
That would be great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay, on to our official business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 18th, 2021 general session, the May 20th, 2021 briefing session, and the May 17th and 19th, 2021 administrative briefings?
Move approval of the minutes?
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes,
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
thank you. First up is our Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 38121, resolution authorizing the third amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, the Franklin County Engineers Office, and the Franklin County Transportation Improvement District in the amount of $100,000.
Good morning, Commissioners, President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, and Commissioner Tyler Lee. My name is Cornell Robertson, honored to serve as Franklin County Engineer and Franklin County Drainage Engineer for every resident, every day. And Commissioners, before I get started, I would like to be sure and welcome Commissioner Tyler Lee to the Franklin County family. Thank you for your willingness to serve, and I look forward to working together.
Thank you. Likewise.
This resolution authorizes an update to the intergovernmental agreement among the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, the County Engineer, and the Franklin County Transportation Improvement District. This updated agreement, initially approved by the Commissioners on November 26th of 2019, authorizes an amount not to exceed $100,000 for engineering consultant services to assist with the Franklin County Parking Facilities Improvement Project in conjunction with the Ohio Department of Transportation's I-70 and I-71 construction project. The engineering consultant was selected utilizing the county engineer's qualifications-based selection process. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
There are no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 38121.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes,
Resolution number 38121 has been adopted.
thank you. Next, Drainage Engineer.
Resolution number 38221, resolution authorizing a transfer of funds for the Stormwater Management Program.
Commissioner Tyler Lee, I serve, as mentioned, as not only the Franklin County Engineer, which is an elected position, but also as the Franklin County Drainage Engineer, which is appointed by the Board of Commissioners. Under our jurisdiction, we have 94 miles of open channels and 147 miles of tile ditches. Many of those tiles were built over 100 years ago with pipes designed to last 50 years. With support from the Board of Commissioners, we have really vamped up our stormwater management program, are proactive instead of reactive, and it's being noticed and appreciated by our constituents and the farming community. This resolution is a common resolution for this time of year to transfer funds from the general fund to the Stormwater Management Fund to cover operating expenses and capital improvement expenses for the drainage engineer for the second half of 2021. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 38221.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes,
Resolution number 38221 has been adopted.
thank you. Next, Engineer.
Resolution number 38321, resolution regarding the annual progress report relating to the Franklin County Engineers Anti-Racism and Equity Program supporting the Franklin County Board of Commissioners' declaration of racism as a public health crisis.
Commissioners, as you may recall, on June 30th of last year, 2020, I presented a resolution in support of your declaration of racism as a public health crisis. I also launched the Franklin County Engineers Anti-Racism and Equity Program. Though my office and I focus mainly on roads, bridges, and drainage, it is our way to take positive, meaningful, and measurable action with a commitment to report our progress to you on an annual basis on the pillars of our workforce, procurement, and community outreach. Simone Burley, who is our Diversity and Inclusion Coordinator, and I were prepared to provide that annual report today. However, seeing how long today's agenda is, I have been working with Clerk Hindenlang and respectfully request that this resolution be tabled for 1 week until the general session of June 1st of 2021. This will allow time to give the presentation, have discussion, and answer any questions you may have, giving it and this important subject matter the time it deserves.
I move to table resolution 38321 for 1 week.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 38321 has been tabled until June 1st, 2021. Thank you, Mr. Engineer, for your assistance with that.
Thank you.
Sorry,
To the next.
Commissioner.
Oh, is it on me? Okay, I'm sorry. Um,
No,
Oh,
I apologize, Commissioner. No, it's up on me. I apologize.
yeah, I was away.
Trying to read my own red
No
line.
problem, no problem. Yeah.
Resolution number 38421, resolution proposing to cooperate with the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation for the bridge upgrade and preservation of Winchester Pike over I-270 project, Franklin County, Ohio.
Yes, this bridge,
oh.
apologize.
Commissioner, it's for the next one. We have a public hearing on the following too.
Okay,
Yeah, I apologize for any confusion.
no problem. No worries.
Okay, this bridge upgrade and preservation project is in the southeast part of the county in Madison Township along Winchester Pike over I-270. The Ohio Department of Transportation will administer this project. And this resolution authorizes the county engineer to enter into contracts with the Director of Transportation necessary to complete the project. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There's no questions on approval of resolution 38421.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 38421 has been adopted.
Great. Next, we have a public hearing. Can the clerk please read the public hearing notice?
Resolution regarding establishing, altering, and widening of the Babbitt Road Drainage Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak on this public hearing? Okay, seeing that there are none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 38521, establishing, altering, and widening of the Babbitt Road Drainage Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
This drainage improvement project is in the northeast part of the county in Plain Township along Babbitt Road north of Morse Road. This is a collaborative project among Franklin County, City of New Albany, and a private developer to address long-standing drainage issues. This resolution is the second in a series of two to declare the project necessary, states the project was viewed on May 18th, and allows the county engineer to begin designing the improvement. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
If there are no questions, I will move approval of resolution 38521.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 38521 has been adopted.
Great. Once again, we have a public hearing. And can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Establishing, altering, and widening of the Schleppy Road Drainage Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak on this public hearing? Okay, seeing that there are none, I would like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 38621, establishing, altering, and widening of the Schleppy Road Drainage Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
This drainage improvement is in the northeast part of the county in Plain Township as well. This is a collaboration between the county engineer and the county drainage engineer to replace a culvert on Schleppy Road and improve drainage between the structure and the county line with Delaware County. This resolution is also the second in a series of two to declare the project necessary, states the project was viewed on May 18th, and allows the county engineer to begin designing the improvement. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
There's no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 38621.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes,
Resolution number 38621 has been adopted.
thank
Thank you all
you.
very much.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
Thank you.
Next is prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 38721, resolution authorizing the establishment of the Equitable Sharing Fund and the State Law Enforcement Trust Fund within the county treasury.
Ed Leonard on behalf of Prosecutor Tyak. I'd like to start with a special welcome to Commissioner Tyler Lee. I want to wish you all the best and rewarding.
Can't really hear Mr. Leonard.
We unmuted.
I can hear you, sir. It's just very faint.
Very low. Yes.
All right, I'll just speak up very loud.
That's
then.
better. Yep.
Good morning, Commissioners. I want to, Ed Leonard on behalf of the Prosecutor Tyak's office. Wanted to thank or welcome Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Thank
and wish
you.
you all the best in your tenure. Hopefully you find it very rewarding.
Thank you.
The first resolution authorizes the establishment of two funds that'll facilitate the use of forfeiture dollars that are received by the prosecutor's office. The first fund relates to the equitable sharing program that allows the prosecutor's office to receive federal forfeiture dollars from federal criminal cases and that are received by the office. The Department of Justice and Department of Treasury guidance requires that those federal forfeiture funds be placed and maintained in the same manner as appropriated funds, meaning in the county treasury. Sheriff Baldwin has for a while been maintaining such appropriated funds in an equitable sharing proceeds. And I wanted to thank Gary Collins for bringing this to our attention so that the prosecutor's office could do the same. And this resolution would also appropriate the current balance from the equitable sharing funds into that account, which is $4,122. The second fund would facilitate using the county's P card program for permitted law enforcement trust fund dollars. As commissioners have identified years ago, the ability to transact purchases via credit card is definitely more efficient than paper. And that was one of the first things Prosecutor Tyak recognized, that same need here and the value here of that in the prosecutor's office. There are a number of transactions that need to be done quickly, and credit card access provides us the flexibility and the speed to support our frontline prosecutors. The county's P card program looks to be the best solution because of its established controls and audit procedures. And we need this fund to be established so the LETF dollars can be deposited into that fund and appropriated in accordance with the P card program. And the $100,000 appropriation would be in the form of a deposit from the prosecutor's law enforcement trust fund into this new fund. So pending any questions, I'd respectfully request approval of the resolution.
If there are no questions, I will move approval of resolution 387. I just switched away from my 38721.
Yes,
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
yes,
Resolution number 38721 has been adopted. Resolution number 38821, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments for diversity, equity, and inclusion training and other operating expenses.
The second resolution is for an appropriation to facilitate some additional training for all staff of the prosecutor's office. Prosecutor Tyak's been committed to ensuring that the office reflects the community that it serves. So in addition to the recruitment efforts to diversify the office, Prosecutor Tyak is committed to undertaking the diversity, equity, and inclusion training for the entire staff to ensure the cultural sensitivity of our staff when it comes to interacting with one another as our workforce diversifies, as well as interacting with the community that we serve. Prosecutor Tyak understands that the DEI training and implicit bias training are a step in the right direction. And however, the inclusion of anti-racism in the training program will be working to procure is of utmost importance to the prosecutor. While DEI training is important for every governmental agency, it's especially important for the prosecutor's office because of our unique role in the criminal justice system. We interact with both the crime victims and criminal defendants and make decisions that impact the lives of those victims and defendants, as well as the safety and welfare of the wider community. The DEI training would be for the entire staff of over 200 employees and would be more in-depth multi-session training rather than a one and done type of training. The training would also involve a train the trainer component to facilitate continued training as refresher training is needed as new employees join the office. The requested funding would also support continuing legal education for our frontline prosecutors with the growing backlog of criminal cases beginning to move to trial. Now that with the reopening of the courts, it's more critical than ever to give our frontline prosecutors the tools and resources to ensure that they feel comfortable and prepared entering the courtroom on behalf of the people of Franklin County. So this funding would allow our prosecutors to access the full array of course offerings available through the Ohio State Bar Association. And so pending any questions, I'd respectfully request approval of the resolution.
Hey, before you make that motion, Commissioner Grady, so you're going to use the Bar Association is who's going to be teaching the class? Is that what you're telling me?
The DEI training won't be through the Bar Association. The Bar Association will be for general, they have a very good array of criminal justice offerings, courses, but the DEI training will be separate.
Okay, so who are you using for the DEI training?
Oh gosh, the training, we've looked at a couple of different companies.
If you don't have it in front of me, just get it to me. Yeah, just get it to us. And I'd love to see the curriculum. I don't know how much, you know, I'm first of all, let me applaud Prosecutor Tyak for taking the initiative. I think it is a substantial contribution to the needs of our judicial system for fairness and equity, and that is definitely a plus. But I think it's something I don't want to overlook its value and importance. And so I just want to, I'd love for Deputy Administrator Bivens to take a look at it too. She's well versed in this from what we did at the BOC, and we just want to support and help the prosecutor. I know that the prosecutor is committed to this conversation, but we just want to do our best to support that countywide. And so not that we're overseeing what's happening at the prosecutor's office, but we just want to work with you. So if Mr. Lyndon, if you could work with Deputy Administrator Bivens with the curriculum, and I'd say just give them some feedback, Deputy Administrator. Let's see where we can maybe synergize our work with the prosecutor, because this conversation within our judicial system is absolutely critical to our broader work. And so I just didn't want to overlook it, and Prosecutor Tyak should be commended for taking this initiative.
As we have been having the conversation about the budgetary impact, your staff has suggested and given us the information for the trainer organization that the commissioners have used. And so we're exploring that as an option as well. So we haven't closed up, we haven't made a final decision about it, but again, so we are looking at some of the resources that the commissioners have used for this training as well.
Commissioner Boyce, if I may also supplement that, as you all know, and you will meet him shortly, is we recently hired a new first assistant who we have made this part of his job duties in terms of overseeing. And I think it is a great idea maybe that we have a collaboration meeting involving him and Joy, because we are completely dedicated and we have so many resources that you have already touched upon, and that collaboration will be very valuable to him.
Great.
Commissioner Boyce, if I may, I
Yeah, please.
also wanted to acknowledge the prosecutor's office, and I know the engineer's office as well. We'll hear more about that next week, for their intentionality in bringing these trainings to their staff. You know, I think it's appropriate that we consider a resolution like this on the 1-year anniversary of the killing of George Floyd. And the county designating racism as a public health crisis was a tremendous step. And there's so much that's happened in this past year in terms of raising this issue, you know, to a broader audience, but we still know that there is a lot of work to do. And so trainings are excellent and they're a great first step. And I'm pleased to hear Mr. Leonard say that it's just not a one and done, because we know a lot of the work that we have to do is a culture shift, a culture change, and dismantling systems of racism. So I also applaud County Engineer Robertson and also Prosecutor Tyak for these important steps that they're taking, and look forward to tracking the progress as they move forward.
Commissioners, just really quick, Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator. I would like to also include D'Amico Withers into this conversation as our Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. As you all know, we did do the Racial Institute training that deals with not just implicit bias, but also the 400 years of slavery, and went into the policies and how systemic policies address our communities. And D'Amico's well versed in that as well, so I want to include her in that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to working with them.
Super lucky, aren't we, that we have these resources?
Yes.
You know, I just want to add, you know, I know this has been an ongoing conversation since you know, the beginning of the year when you guys took office, and, you know, great work, guys.
Agreed. Is there a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there should be, shouldn't there? If there's no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 388-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 388-21 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next up, Sheriff.
Resolution number 389-21, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for the purchase of a replacement inmate clothing storage system. Dave, you're muted, sir.
It's been a long time since I've done that. My apologies. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. The resolution before you is a transfer and supplemental appropriation in our corrections general fund budget. It will allow for the purchase of a storage system to replace the old and outdated system that we currently utilize. This new system is a more efficient filing of the storage. It's sterile and it does a better job of keeping inmate property safe so that it can be returned upon their release. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
There are no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 389-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 389-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 390-21, resolution authorizing a contract with Proto Incorporated for the disposition of stored and unclaimed vehicles towed prior to October 5th, 2020.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a contract for the disposition of vehicles that were towed and stored prior to the October 5th, 2020 contract that was awarded to county towing through the competitive bid process. This resolution will, and the one that's forthcoming, utilizes or allows for the disposition of these vehicles so that we can clean up the stored vehicles that were previously towed and stored as mentioned before the competitively bid contract was put into place. We previously did one with Idles Towing several months ago. And pending any questions, I ask your approval of this resolution.
I do have a question, Mr. Masterson, if I may.
Yes.
I understand that we take all of the steps that we need to find the owners of these vehicles, but in those instances when we're not able to, what happens to the vehicle? And what I'm thinking about is the many residents throughout our community who we know have a transportation need. And I'm wondering if there's, I'm just curious to know what happens to those vehicles when we don't find the owner and if they are put to another use.
What we do is we do everything possible, obviously, to try and locate the owner, to get them to come and pick their vehicle up. It is my understanding that with the current contract, the county towing, that if all remedies of finding the existing owner are exhausted, then the title is actually turned over to the tow company where it's disposed of, so that they can recover their fees from the tow and the storage of the vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
If there are no further questions or comments, I will move approval of resolution 38921.
Second,
39021.
second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 39021 has been adopted. Resolution number 39121, resolution authorizing a contract with Don's Garage Incorporated doing business as Long's Towing for the disposition of stored and unclaimed vehicles towed prior to October 5th, 2020.
Commissioner, this is a similar resolution to the previous one. It allows for the vehicles to be titled to the previous or to the current storage occupant of the vehicles, so that they can be disposed of. These are all vehicles prior to the competitively bid contract back in October of 2020. Any questions, ask approval of this resolution.
Dave, the question is, how many are we talking about, roughly?
The Proto is
18, I believe.
yes, 18. And the one that the resolution we are currently on, bear with me 1 second.
I believe it was 2.
And how long have they had them? Roughly, I mean, these are,
It looks like there's one back for the Proto, the previous resolution. There was one back from 2018. Three from 18, impounded at 18, one in 19, and I guess that would be 15 from 2020. The current one for Don's Garage, as it loads up here, is 2 vehicles from 2020.
so they've had them for a bit.
Yes.
Folks haven't
And,
claimed.
and like I said, we've exhausted through our efforts as well as the tow company to locate these individuals so that they can come pick their vehicle up to no avail. And this is the agreement that was worked out through the prosecutor's office to basically salvage the vehicles
Gotcha.
at this point.
All right. If there are no further questions, I'll move approval of resolution 39121.
Second,
You're muted, Dean.
You muted yourself, pal.
It's amazing when I follow my own rules. I apologize, commissioners. Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution number 39121 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, domestic relations.
Resolution number 39221, resolution authorizing a contract extension with Action for Children for parenting seminars in the amount of $39,672.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director, and Domestic and Juvenile Court would like to welcome Commissioner Tyler Lee to Franklin County.
Thank you.
This first resolution is a contract with Action for Children that provides parenting seminars for parents seeking divorce, legal separation, or the allocation of parental rights. This contract was originally bid through the Purchasing Department in 2018. This resolution is requesting a contract extension for 1 year with 1 year remaining on the option to renew. The rate remains unchanged at $1,322.42 per seminar. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
There's no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 39221.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 39221 has been adopted. Resolution number 39321, resolution authorizing a second amendment to the 2021 grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Youth Services in the amount of $15,625.
This second resolution is requesting several changes to our 2021 grant agreement. These changes include increasing the budget by a total of $15,625 due to the increased cost of software, term sick leave, term vacation, and unemployment benefits. Additionally, we are requesting to realign funds to add new treatment providers to our Juvenile Intervention Center, our mentoring, and our substance abuse programs. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 39321.
Second.
I'm sorry, Commissioners. Just one moment, please.
I do have an abstention. So the president needs to second. Is that
Oh, I'm
correct?
sorry. I don't see that on my sheet here. I didn't
It was
see
a
that.
last minute add, President Boyce.
Okay. All right. Well, I apologize. I did not see that. So, could we redo the motion? I'll second. Commissioner Grady, if you could just make the motion again, I'll second. That was my mistake. I didn't have it marked on my sheet.
If there's no questions, I will move approval of resolution 39321.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioners. Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
The resolution has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, animal control.
Resolution number 39421, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a gift from the Columbus Foundation to Franklin County Dog Shelter and Adoption Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Allison Waters, Fiscal Officer for Animal Care and Control. We have one resolution on the agenda today, and this authorizes the acceptance of a gift from the Columbus Foundation in the amount of $10,000. Pending any questions, we respectfully request approval of this resolution.
If there's no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 39421.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 39421 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Yep. Thank you. Next, economic development and planning.
Resolution number 36721, resolution authorizing the First Amendment to Loan Agreement 0259-19 from the Franklin County Infrastructure Bank to the City of Hillyard for the Municipal Fiber Network Project in the amount of $1,250,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Director Jim Schimmer. I just want to provide a very warm welcome to Commissioner Dawn Tyler Lee.
Thank you.
It's very nice to see you in this role.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I'm going to go ahead and let Josh Roth take you through this first resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners. Josh Roth, Senior Program Coordinator with Franklin County Economic Development Planning. This resolution would authorize an amendment to a 2019 Franklin County Infrastructure Bank loan with the city of Hillyard. This loan was in the amount of $1,250,000. It was a term of 10 years with an interest rate of 1.85%. The project was for the construction of a 25-mile municipal fiber network to support job creation and retention within the city. Specifically, the city committed to facilitating the creation of 90 jobs as a result of this project. And then due to extenuating circumstances caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the construction of the network was delayed. It is now complete. It stretches nearly 30 miles. It's been connected to several municipal facilities, city school buildings, and area businesses. This amendment would extend certain deadlines to allow the city to draw down those loan funds and then begin repayment. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I will move approval of resolution 367. You thought you were going to catch me off guard, the 367-21.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 367-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 395-21. Declaring the entirety of Franklin County, Ohio to be an alternative energy zone pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 5727.75, Section E1C, restating certain provisions of Resolution number 16513, declaring all applications submitted to the Director of Development Services under Ohio Revised Code 5727.75E to be approved by the board, and imposing an additional service payment of $2,000 per megawatt of nameplate capacity for certified energy projects pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5727.75E1B.
Commissioners, this resolution has a little background I want to read to you first as I lead you through it. Back in 2013, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners adopted Resolution 16513, which declared one or more parcels within the county as an alternative energy zone. Simply stated, an AEZ or alternative energy zone allows developers of alternative energy to be taxed at a lower rate than large-scale utility providers. Back in 2013, this specific project was being done for solar installation on the Columbus Fleet Management Garage. And as part of that project, it was in fact completed and moved forward. It's producing energy today as we sit here and look at the sunshine we have out there. But the project was completed, and we wanted to go ahead and fast forward now. As the solar industry in Ohio has matured, the General Assembly has amended its enabling legislation numerous times to keep pace with the changing needs of the private sector alternative energy development. As we know, it has been the board's interest and desire to move forward on providing alternative energy generation in the county. And recent permissive state legislation created a new choice for counties to determine how to tax clean energy projects. Under the payment of lieu of taxes, or pilot statute, renewable energy projects and developers remit to the county a fixed annual amount of per megawatt of power generated in payment of lieu of taxes. This pilot enables the developers whose projects meet certain conditions to avoid excess property tax liability. To qualify, a renewable energy developer may submit an application to become a qualified energy project with the Ohio Development Service Agency, ODSA, under the revised code. If the application is approved and meets the standards, all requirements under the statute are met, the company is eligible for exemption through a pilot. Under the pilot, the solar developer receives $7,000, or excuse me, the solar developer pays to the county $7,000 per megawatt hour to the various taxing property entities in the taxing district in which the project is located, in this case, Franklin County. The board is authorized or has the authority to increase that payment by an additional $2,000 per megawatt hour, with that money going into the general fund. Additionally, the project developers benefit from the pilot. When they in fact establish that program, it is important to understand that they have a commitment to Franklin County and the utility and infrastructure assets that the county has. So we have worked closely with the engineer's office to understand what some of those impacts might be. So for example, in this case, for a developer to benefit from a pilot, they must understand that they will be involved in taking care of roads, surface runoff, and be able to work with the engineer's office on the impacts of these projects. Additionally, in order for the developer to in fact receive the pilot, they must provide several different aspects of things that are beneficial to the community and to the county. For example, they will provide fire and EMS training. The developers need to do training for fire and emergency personnel to respond to emergencies that may very well be related to the project. Again, solar has been very safe in general. But then additionally, they agreed that they will do industry training, provide apprenticeships for the program, especially as it relates to installation. And then finally, commissioners, very important point, when a solar facility will be constructed in Franklin County, 80% of the full-time equivalent folks that are doing the construction must be from the state of Ohio. So commissioners, I want to thank Janine Hummer and Jesse Armstrong in the prosecuting attorney's office for their guidance on this resolution. It is a little complicated, but it will allow two specific things to happen. One of which it's going to reinstate certain provisions of resolution 16513, the original resolution. So it doesn't remove any of the parcels that were declared back in 2013. And it declares the entirety of Franklin County to be an alternative energy zone pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code. Secondly, each new application the county receives under the ORC, the developer will make an annual service payment, again, of $7,000 per megawatt hour of nameplate capacity, as well as an additional service payment of $2,000, which will go to Franklin County's general fund. This resolution passage today will ensure Franklin County's role in promoting clean energy and subsequently, as a result, provide clean air for all of our residents. Commissioners, pending any questions, I would recommend this resolution to you this morning for your approval.
Jim, this is good work again. I guess my one question would be, do any of our neighboring counties have any similar type language or resolutions of this nature?
Commissioners, there's a number of counties in central Ohio that are seeing large-scale utility projects that are solar-based. Each county develops its own language, but we are going for the most, the most benefit allowed under the ORC for our residents in the community. Other communities may have a case where they need a school built. They need a specific project that they may want to undertake with these dollars. That's, their language will reflect that. But in our case, what we're really interested in trying to do is, number one, get the taxing entities the dollars that they would be owed by the developer. And then secondly, have the ability to use this additional $2,000 per megawatt hour for other things that we might consider in the future. It allows us to think about, potential projects that could relate to an environmental equity fund, for example, if that is the direction we go in the future. But really the case is that we want to make certain that we let the solar development community and alternative energy community know this is what they will have to do when they do a project in Franklin County.
Gotcha. I was just thinking of the development out in western Franklin County and whether or not, say, Madison County or one of our surrounding counties out there, Union County, anybody else was thinking of this, but I get you. I appreciate it. Thank you. There's no further questions. I will, or comments. I will move approval of resolution 395-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 395-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 396-21, resolution adopting the 2021 Housing and Urban Development Annual Action Plan and amending the county's 2020 Annual Action Plan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mark Paxton. The county's 2021 action plan identifies how the county will spend the 2021 funds allocated to it by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Funds are granted to the county under 3 different programs. Community Development Block Grant, which benefits low-income individuals, the Home Partnership Program, which funds affordable housing opportunities, the Emergency Solutions Grant, which provides funding to the Community Shelter Board to address homelessness. Under the 2021 action plan, the county will be allocating approximately $3.34 million to the following community development categories: $1.9 million for affordable housing. This includes housing rehab, home ownership programs, construction of affordable housing units, $240,000 for public services, $305,000 for economic development loans and development programs, $300,000 for prevention programs under the homelessness component, $365,000 for public and social services, $100,000 for fair housing services, $275,000 for home funds statutorily earmarked to the county's community housing development organizations. This is for future affordable housing projects. The process utilized to allocate funding was a transparent process. This utilized 6 public hearings and public notifications. This started back in September 2020. Notifications via the internet, Columbus Dispatch, and direct emails to county jurisdictions and community organizations. The allocations reflect community development priorities related to affordable housing, promoting economic development, and addressing poverty. Pending any questions, I respectfully ask for approval of the plan.
If there are no questions, I will move approval of resolution 396-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 396-21 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Resolution number 397-21, review of petition to annex 1.34 acres more or less from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City, case number ANX-12-21.
Morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 1.34 acres from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The area to be annexed includes property located at 3150 Demarest Road. That's east of Demarest, north of Grove City Road, west of Elm Street, and south of Southwest Boulevard and Beulah Park. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Thaddeus Boggs of Frost Brown Todd, LLC. And I should, for the record, note that Jesse Shamp, attorney at law of Frost Brown Todd, is in attendance should you have any questions. On behalf of the property owner, the Ohio Conference Association of Seventh-day Adventists. 50% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Grove City, and the city passed resolution number CR-22-21 on April 19, 2021, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of resolution 397-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 397-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 398-21, review of petition to annex 8.95 acres more or less from Lyndon Township to the city of Columbus, case number ANX-13-21.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 8.95 acres from Lyndon Township to the city of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at 4955 Sunbury Road. That's west of Sunbury Road, north of Morse Road, east of Westerville Road, and south of State Route 161. Petition was filed by the owners and agents, Tom and Robin Ritchie is in attendance should you have any questions.
65% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 1094-2021 on May 10th, 2021, indicating the services that would be provided once the annexation is approved in a statement regarding incompatible land uses and the zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no questions, I would move approval of resolution 39821.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 39821 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Great, thank you. Next, Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 39921, resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations for social services contracts.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director, and I too would like to welcome Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful to have you.
Good morning. Thank you.
This appropriation will support ready-to-earn summer youth employment programming, which will be expanded to serve additional youth. It will support Summer Jobs and More, which is a student credit recovery initiative. Additional funding to support the PRC Rental Assistance Program. New funding to enhance and expand the PRC Plus program. Additional funding to enhance and improve adult protective services. And additional funding to address other community needs and social services contracts. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up?
No, we hear you just fine.
Okay.
Continue.
The agency has sufficient resources to support these allocations after receiving additional allocations and revenues that were not originally anticipated in the budget. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no questions, I will move approval of resolution 39921.
Are you abstaining? Do you abstain?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't have that on my sheet either. Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I'm sorry. No, I don't need to abstain on 399. So that is a yes for me.
Okay, so we've got 3 yeses.
My apologies.
I appreciate it.
We'll get the hang of all this, no worries.
Resolution number 39921 has been adopted. Thank you. Resolution number 421, resolution approving subaward agreements in the amount of $299,392.73 and subaward amendments for an increase of $735,000 with multiple community agencies for Franklin County out of school time youth summer camp programming for a revised amount of $3,333,377.73.
Thank you, Dean. Youth attending our summer camp programs will receive academic instruction and support, engage in social and emotional learning, gain hands-on experience in science, technology, the arts, and engineering, and mathematics, gain skills in leadership development, and much more. Each of the programs will also incorporate trauma-informed care, stress management, and more to provide young people with different ways to express how the pandemic impacted their lives. Several of the funded programs will partner with participating schools to offer on-site programming that will afford summer school instruction in the morning, followed by fun summer camp activities in the afternoon. The 10 providers in this resolution will serve approximately 750 TANF-eligible youth ages 5 to 13, and combined with the summer camp providers approved last week, a total of 1,650 young people will be served through our summer camp programs this year. In addition, the Deputy County Administrator Bivens will be hosting a virtual lunch and learn at 12 p.m. today on Facebook Live for parents to learn more about all of the summer options for youth that are available through Franklin County. From free day camps to paid work experience to credit recovery with college and career advising, we'll cover it all. They'll get to hear straight from the providers and have their questions answered during this interactive lunch and learn. We're asking everyone to tune in at noon at the Franklin County Job and Family Services Facebook page. Additionally, Deputy County Administrator Bivens will also co-host a panel discussion on mental health and behavioral health and the impact on student education with 10 TV reporter Andrew Kinsley. This Zoom event will be held today, Tuesday, May 25th at 7:30 p.m. More information on both events can be found at our Facebook page at facebook.com/Franklin County JFS. I'd like to offer Deputy County Administrator Bivens the opportunity to give some updates or feedback if she'd like.
So just really quick, commissioners. So for summer this year, our Earn and Learn program, you know, it was your vision to ensure that every young person and many young people across the Franklin County received opportunities. We are meeting with leadership in each municipality that will host a meeting with us so that we can talk about incentivizing businesses within those communities to provide a meaningful work experience for a young person. This is to eliminate the transportation barriers for many of our young people across Franklin County. So we are trying to engage as many municipalities as possible. And so far, Reynoldsburg, Whitehall, Westerville have been very amenable to these conversations.
Great.
Thank you. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 421.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 421 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention.
Thank you. Next, Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 401-21, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Administrator to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Ohio State University Office of Sponsored Programs on behalf of the recipient, the Ohio State University College of Medicine Government Research Center, for the purpose of providing OSU GRC with CASA Franklin County data pursuant to the Ohio CASA Impact Study.
Good morning, Commissioners. Welcome, Commissioner Tyler Lee. We're happy to have you, and I look forward to working alongside you. Good morning to our Franklin County team. Ohio CASA has requested that CASA Franklin County be one of 4 study sites to take part in an impact study to determine whether children who are appointed a CASA volunteer have better outcomes than those who are not. The study is funded by the Federal Children's Justice Act through the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, and the evaluation is conducted by the Ohio State University College of Medicine Government Research Center. Data for the study will be drawn from CASA Franklin County's PACE database, SACWIS, and Medicaid. The study will be a retroactive look to eliminate the effects of the past year's COVID repercussions. Children in custody during the 2015 and 2019 period will be evaluated. Each child in the study who was appointed a CASA volunteer will be matched with a child of similar characteristics who was not appointed a CASA. Data related to various measures will be examined. Franklin County provides an important look at a well-established metropolitan program. Upon execution and submission of the Memorandum of Understanding, select CASA Franklin County data points will be uploaded to a secure server at OSU GRC for analysis. While analysis specific to CASA Franklin County will be shared with CASA OJPP staff, public data will be presented in aggregate form to maintain the highest level of confidentiality.
If there are no questions, we move approval of resolution 401-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 401-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 402-21, resolution approving a contract for services with the Columbus City Attorney's Office for project management related to the fiscal year 2020 Improving Criminal Justice Responses Program Grant Award from the Office of Violence Against Women in the amount of $193,748.
Thank you. Franklin County OJPP, in collaboration with the Columbus City Attorney's Office and several other community partner agencies, applied for and received the Improving Criminal Justice Responses Program Grant Award in the amount of $900,000 to support a system-wide comprehensive review of current interagency protocols, policies, case processing procedures, and information sharing as it relates to the crimes of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. The ICJRP will complement current efforts underway by system partners engaged in the Firearms Technical Assistance Project, which is designed to help communities implement policies, protocols, and promising practices to prevent abusers from having access to firearms in domestic violence cases. Transitions from the FTAP initiative to the ICJRP is a natural nexus and supports a broader scope of review as it relates to domestic violence and interpersonal violence response practices. Other committed community partners, including Choices, the Nationwide Center for Family Safety and Healing, Columbus Police, and Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Prosecutor's Office, Public Defender's Office, and Probation Departments. Given the breadth and importance of this initiative, the Columbus City Attorney's Office has agreed to provide staffing to support the project management and some grants administration functions through September 30th of 2023. To support the anticipated expenses for the FY 2021, a purchase order in the amount of $100,000 was opened. The amount in which they will support this partnership is $493,748. Any questions, we would seek approval of that resolution.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 40221.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 40221 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. And Commissioners, if I might ask real quick, if one of you happens to have your phone near your computer, if you could move it slightly to the side. I'm getting a little bit of background noise. I apologize. Thank you. Resolution number 40321. Resolution authorizing a second contract renewal for case management, peer support, and transportation services with Impact Community Action through the fiscal year 2018 Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration Medication Assisted Treatment Grant Program in the amount of $85,000.
The Franklin County Board of Commissioners authorized receipt of a SAMHSA Medicated Assistant Treatment Grant in the amount of $1,571,626 to support sustainment of the Pathways Achieving Recovery by Choice program in the Franklin County Correction Center, an expansion of the program to include a male pathways program, and the addition of behavioral health and case management staff to coordinate continuity of care and transition from jail to the community for individuals identified with an opioid use disorder. OJPP is requesting approval of a year 2 contract extension in the amount of $85,000 with Impact Community Action. The collaboration with Impact Community Action has allowed OJPP to further expand the range of services provided to our justice-involved target population participating in Pathways. Impact has agreed to continue dedicating 1 full-time equivalent position to the Pathways program for the provision of case management, group facilitation, and leadership of the Pathways peer support team. In addition to case management services, Impact has also agreed to incorporate transportation assistance into the year 2 contract to support individuals released from incarceration from FCC2 with no form of transportation. This option will be used as a last resort method with a priority focused on those individuals released during the 3rd shift when other traditional forms of transportation is limited. The term of the contract extension is for an additional 1-year term beginning April 1st of 2021 and terminating March 31st of 2022. Please note the purchase order proof reflects the portion of the award that we anticipate will be liquidated during calendar year 2021. Pending any questions, we would seek approval of that resolution.
There are no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 40321.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 40321 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Resolution number 40421, resolution authorizing receipt of the Franklin County fiscal year 2020 Services Training Officers Prosecutors Violence Against Women Act Administrative Grant Award and granting authority to the President of the Board of Commissioners to sign all acceptance documents and waivers related to the grant program in the amount of $22,717.89.
Thank you. This resolution is presented to the Board of Commissioners for authorization to accept the fiscal year 2019 Stop Violence Against Women Act administrative grant in the amount of $17,038.42 from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services as a pass-through from the Federal Office of Violence Against Women. The administrative grant will require a cash match of $5,679.47 from Franklin County's general fund. Fiscal year 2020 admin award is the total of the $17,038.42. The required cash match of admin will be $5,679.47 to accumulate the total award of the $22,717.89. Administrative funds will be used to offset OJPP personnel costs necessary to administer the Violence Against Women Block Grant. Pending any questions, we seek approval of that resolution.
There's no questions. I'll move approval of resolution 421.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 40421 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Next is Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 40521, resolution authorizing a guaranteed maximum price amendment number 3 to modify the original contract agreement with Alfred Incorporated to provide construction manager at-risk services, including construction services associated with the construction of the Franklin County Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, and the amount of the contract not to exceed $6,632,183 for a revised contract amount of $19,987,169.53.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director of Public Facilities Management. Also joining me today is COO Vivian Alexander. And we would like to welcome Commissioner Tyler Lee officially, and we look forward to working with you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Commissioner Tyler Lee. Welcome.
In July of 2020, Elford Inc., a local firm, was awarded a contract agreement to provide construction manager at risk services associated with the planning, design, and construction of the Franklin County Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court located at 373 South High Street. This resolution authorizing a guaranteed maximum price GMP Amendment number 3 to provide additional construction services. The proposed GMP Amendment number 3 includes an allowance to fund the initial phase of the water, sanitary, and storm piping replacement in the Franklin County Office Tower that is original to this building, and an allowance for the relocation and construction of a new Franklin County Prosecutor's Office property storage room. All unused allowances are reimbursed to the county. Consistent with the prior amendments, Elford will hold all subcontracts associated with this amendment. This project will be funded by the Facility Preservation Bond Fund. The Prosecutor's Office has reviewed and is supportive of this amendment. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment number 3. Thank you.
There are no further comments or questions. I will move approval of resolution 40521.
I'll second the motion, but I do have a question for Ms. Reardon. As I'm working to get up to speed on some of our key projects here at the county, I'm interested to know what our minority participation goals are for this project.
Okay, well, so far there have been 3 GMP amendments in this construction manager at risk project. In GMP number 1, that was approximately $5 million, and that was the renovation, the initial portion, which was the domestic relations and juvenile court renovation. For that portion, Elford has reported 51% of contracted work has been awarded to SEBE, specifically $1.3 million to Farber, a local LEDE, local economically disadvantaged enterprise, for mechanical and plumbing work, and another $1.3 million to Knight Electric, a local MBE electrical firm, And as it relates to GMP number 2, so far, 14% of subcontracted work for the clerk of courts portion of the renovation, which is about $20,000 again with Barber. But for the balance of GMP number 2 and today's GMP number 3 work, those are both still in their design phases. So they have not begun bidding. So we can certainly report that at a later date. But Elford's documented strategy to date to maximize participation, understanding both the county's initiatives and priorities of that, but also Elford as a firm with a strong history of promoting SEBE participation. They focus on development of bid packages that maximize participation, intentional development of bid lists as part of the pre-qualification process. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback, so sorry if I'm having trouble, if you're having trouble hearing me. Personal outreach from experienced Elford team members to SEBE partners to encourage bidding, and then strategic development of SEBE goals within their firm. So that's been the strategy they've used throughout the GMPs. And also Elford was the construction manager at risk for the Forensic Science Center project, which achieved almost 22% SEBE participation against a 14% aspirational goal. So they've been a strong performer in this area and partner with the county in our SEBE initiatives.
Thank you. And do we have an aspirational goal yet for phase 3 that has not been bid yet?
This project does not have a stated aspirational goal.
Thank you.
But we are reporting them as we go. Thank you.
Commissioner Tyler Lee, you did second, is that correct?
I did, yes.
Thank you. Did you have anything else before I call the roll?
I don't. Thank
And
you.
again, nice meeting you, Commissioner.
Thank you. You as well.
The resolution has been moved and seconded. Voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 40521 has been adopted.
Great. Thank you. Next, Human Resources.
Resolution number 40621, resolution authorizing a contract with United Behavioral Health to provide an employee assistance program and administrative services for a behavioral health benefit in the amount of $1,744,944.
Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome, Commissioner Tyler Lee.
Thank you.
I'm Jody Lees, Assistant Director of Franklin County Human Resources, Benefits and Wellness. This resolution authorizes a 3-year contract with United Behavioral Health, or UBH, to provide 2 programs for the Franklin County Cooperative. The first program is an Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, and the second is Behavioral Health Administrative Services. So the EAP provides 24/7 support to our members who are dealing with anything from depression, anxiety, or stress to marital issues, workplace conflicts, even child or elder care issues. There's also a financial counseling as well as a legal service component to the EAP. Our members receive 8 visits per presenting problem with an EAP counselor at no cost to the member. Our behavioral health program is similar to our medical program, except it provides coverage for services related to emotional behavioral counseling. In this capacity, UBH offers an extensive provider network of mental health and substance abuse treatment providers, as well as administers the claims for those services. The plan includes outpatient treatment, including unlimited counseling, as well as inpatient treatment. UBH has actually provided these services for the cooperative for 10 years, at least 10 years, and was selected again as a result of a competitive RFP to continue in that role. They've been a very good partner. Over the last 12 months, they've provided tremendous support to our members and virtual resources as well. They also participate in collaboration meetings with our medical and wellness vendors in our attempt to create a more holistic program for our members. And we've established where, you know, our vendors are talking with one another, and that benefits our members tremendously. There are a couple of new aspects to the program as a result of this contract. The first is an on-site EAP. Basically, an on-site EAP means bringing EAP to the work site. We established part-time on-site EAP probably about 5 years ago. With this contract, we are establishing or staffing a full-time EAP counselor to provide support for our employees as needed on-site, or to assist them in connecting with services and resources outside of work. And Michelle Crow Yates, who is our on-site full-time EAP counselor, she's also available to our agency management to guide them through the tools that are available to them through the EAP, as well as conduct agency-specific training and to handle any critical response services that may be needed on a short notice. Now, Life Solutions is the second new program, and it provides a bridge from the physical health to emotional health. So we know that depression, anxiety, and other emotional or behavioral conditions commonly accompany serious or chronic health conditions, such as diabetes or heart disease, cancer, even musculoskeletal pain. So what Life Solutions does, it establishes a cross-referral process with our other health programs to assist in identifying members who may be struggling emotionally and to connect them with the resources of Life Solutions, or maybe the EAP, or even behavioral health services. So we're really excited to bring both those new programs through in this new contract. And pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Commissioners, I want to note very briefly, I did mute all of the lines. We were getting a significant amount of feedback, so you may need to unmute to speak. Thank you.
I would just like to make a comment. As someone who has accessed EAP through a previous employer and someone who has lived with anxiety for about 20 years, I just want to encourage members of our county family who are eligible to take advantage of this benefit to do so. There's often a lot of embarrassment or stigma around accessing programs like EAP, but it is a tremendous resource. And those in our larger community who may not have insurance coverage, I would encourage them to access our many community-based organizations that provide mental health care. You know, people don't talk about it because of an embarrassment or a shame, but it's my hope that one day we'll get to a place where we talk about taking care of our mental health the same way we talk about going to the dentist and the eye doctor and for our annual checkup. So needless to say, this has been a very tough year for so many of our Franklin County families with the pandemic and homeschooling and job loss and many other things. People are seeing stress that they've never seen before. And I just would strongly encourage people to take advantage of these important resources for their own overall health and wellness. So thank you for bringing this resolution forward.
Dawn, we just had this conversation on Thursday in briefing, and I basically made the same comments you did. You know, for years after my original open heart surgery, I sought counseling because, you know, folks don't go through the type of things that myself and my family went through. And so I hear you. And there is a stigma, and there remains a stigma, and there shouldn't be. And so I agree with you 100%. And we should, especially now when Marilyn and Kevin and I have been talking about this for the entirety of the pandemic. This is a difficult time, and so it's a great contract, great service that the county provides, and Jody and her team have put together some wonderful stuff here. So people should definitely access it and take advantage of it.
I appreciate that. And one of the things that we are actually doing to try to reduce the stigma is taking it out of our health benefits program and kind of putting it in our wellness program, you know, because it really is about wellness. And, you know, oftentimes it does get that stigma because it's attached to some things that people think of as, you know, maybe less desirable. So we're trying to, you know, make people think of it and view it in a wellness type purview.
Well, if there's no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 40621.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 40621 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, we have purchasing.
Resolution number 40721, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,783,991.47.
Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome, Commissioner Tyler Lee. My name is Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. And joining me this morning is Marlise Wicker, Franklin County's Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, our resolution this week requests your approval of 79 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise will take you through the SED EPOs.
Thank you, Director Perry Balanier. Good morning, Commissioners. This week, we have 12 out of 22 eligible purchase orders being presented for award to 8 women business enterprises, 2 small and emerging business enterprise, and 2 minority business enterprise vendors. These 12 purchase order total $174,828.43, which equates to 55% of the eligible purchase order value and 92% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. The following agencies have increased supplier diversity of goods and services within Franklin County: Public Facilities Management, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, the Clerk of Court, Emergency Management, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I will move approval of resolution 40721.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee. You're muted. I'm sorry.
I abstain.
Thank you. Resolution number 40721 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Right. Dean, are there any generalizations?
No, Commissioner.
Great. That concludes our regular agenda. Are there any questions from members of the media?
No questions from me today. Thanks.
I wasn't going to let you have a question anyways, Mark. So, okay, in my face. That's right. I'm going to get coffee now. All right. If there are no further comments or questions or business, that concludes our meeting. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.